Hello, everybody. It's been so long, and I'm so excited to share this today. But mainly because I've been through so many things. I have come across a lot of experiences to help me conceptualize and help me to really work on something that I truly care for. All right, first things first, I guess let's address the elephant in the room. So I started learning cello, and it's been the most amazing gift it has ever happened. In a sense that it really taught me a lot of life lessons. If you check out my LinkedIn, you should be able to see one or two posts. But I just really want to voice it out that because I've been working on maybe expression, not so much of like exploring my artistic sense, but more like just find ways to express myself a little bit more expanded in version. So I first took the dance, which was really helpful because there were so many, tension and knots that were in my body, in my mind, in my emotions. And I managed to unlock many things, made a lot of new friends, and they were really, truly remarkable. I want to really thank Chiok, especially my teacher, that she's so open about exploring somatics and how we can use our body to enrich our own lives, be it in dance, in our daily work, in our movement, in our longevity, everything. So I'm really, really excited to share more about that. Secondly, I took up cello. It seems like it's a lot of artistic stuff that I try to do, but basically it's just one of the things that I try to expand my perception of life. Once I have an awareness, whether it's from a scale of 1 to 10, I have from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. It's always about expansion because that's truly, in my belief, the nature of our existence. It's really to find out what I am really good at and to refine it. Because there's a lot of things I would love to do in this world, and I really admire a lot of nice work out there, be it in IT, be it in math or in science or in the arts, in the music, in the different chemistries of like whatever. But it's the main thing is to really find my true talent and to expand it and to refine it in a really joyful manner. So here I am trying to learn this cello, right? It's very amazing because I have quite an interesting relationship with my parents, especially my father, where there's a lot of questions about authority, for example. And it's still very nice to get a validation from them, from my father, that I'm doing well, and actually I am more talented than I thought I would be, that kind of thing. It's very good. But at the end of the day, I really invite you guys to explore what really validates you as a person by yourself. What really makes you want to keep going and keep refining. So one of the things I did was cello, and it's been amazing. It's only been 2 months. I really can't tell where the rest of the journey may be. But in such a short period of time, in 2 months, and actually just to give you a background, I actually mentioned to my parents before that I wanted to learn the violin because I don't know why, it's just an instinct, right, where they call it, or an intuition, where I am so excited to just try something. I've done a lot more things, more sporty stuff that my father is more comfortable to introduce me to. But when it comes to musical instruments, they kind of just pretend that I didn't say it. But in essence, when I started to learn cello, I learned so many things. First things first is really like when I'm pulling the bow, it's really not so much about the control. Of course, you need to learn a few steps, right? You gotta do the work somehow. You gotta learn to pull the bow. But at the same time, I found out that I can't really control how I want to grab and pull the bow in a sense. But once I got comfortable with being able to rest on cello and be able to make a sound comfortably and be able to refine it on the way as I pull it out, is the only way I can go about making improvements, honestly. No matter how many knowledge lessons that I go for. Like, I even asked my teacher to teach me how to make a perfect note or perfect sound, for example, and I YouTube it. No matter how hardworking I am in gathering the knowledge, right, it's the very essence of experience that will get me there. You know, the fact that I keep trying, okay, but the knowledge doesn't work, so let me try something more intuitive. Let me try something more that my body is maybe able to release some intelligence to get me there. And that's how I actually learn much more about life lessons. So basically, I understand that I can't really control everything as much as I grasp the knowledge, which is really a good base. By the time I get into the action, it's all about experience. It's a cliche, but there's a difference in really noticing the nuances in the experience. And that's what I so love about taking all these activities. And I'm so excited to share with you what I want to do in this life. I got a lot of clarity. So I took up this course last week called Neuro-Linguistics Enneagram, which is combining the two of my favorite things. First, you got a neuro-linguistics programming, right? Where you're like modeling the world success leaders or world success systems. And you know, NLP is able to remodel or allow people to model those successes to you know, emulate as much as possible the quality, the essence, the technicalities of how Walt Disney has been so successful about building Walt Disney in the first place, which is very, very amazing, right? There's a Disney model where you really look at the ideation, you know, you look into the future and you see, whoa, there's a huge thing going on there. And then you come to being a realist where you really figure out what is something that you can do today until you reach the vision, right? Which may take you, you know, pretty long, could be a lifetime thing. But at the same time, there is a critical one where there's some risk assessment going on there, which is really important to make you, at least to make me, move forward. Because, you know, it's not just about imagination. It's also about getting it on the earth and making it real life and making it successful and replicable to all the people that is around me. So there's really a lot going on. So what Neuro-Linguistics Enneagram does for me, and I recommend you to at least take the Neuro-Linguistics programming where you really learn a lot about technicalities like the Disney model, or you know, a Swish model, or a SCORE model that is really incorporated by mind transformations. Then after that, when you explore Neuro-Linguistics Enneagram, right, that's where you really appreciate the true beauty of it. By the way, I took Masters NLP as well. So I'm pretty much into the depth of mastery. So if you don't have the patience, I would say the bare minimum is that you could just jump right into NLE, for example. It does give you a lot of very good nuggets of wisdom. And I have a lot of friends that were with me. We were 30 to 35 people that took NLE for the first time, and then they could still run through with it and graduate with excellence. So there's no need for you to go into NLP, but you know, I would suggest you to like really explore some of the techniques out there. But now I want to talk about the NLE. So what is happening over there? Oh, I really love it. So what Enneagram is about is that 9 types, right? Where you are having a lot of, if you Google it, you could see really so much information about Enneagram. What Enneagram actually means is that there are 9. I think Ennea in a Latin or a Greek word, being taught by my teacher Agnes, the word is 9, and then there are points. Points is probably the gram part, so it's Enneagram 9 points. And the whole point of Enneagram to me is that I am aware of the box that I am in, so that I can get out of it and to be all 9 types. That is the essence of Enneagram to me. I never enjoy typing myself into one type and overly identifying myself that these are all my behavioral traits. Now that I talk about behavioral traits, right, I really want to share this. I think a lot of people have been going into coaching and helping people to unlock their talents, their discovery. And a lot of leadership skills and executive coaching is mainly because they are really focused on behavioral traits. How do you really get there? From the time that you are upset with an authority and you really want to influence the authority, this is your behavioral trait. Then you could have an MBTI personality. You could have an Enneagram type, maybe an 8 or something like that. Or you could be a DISCD or whatever it is. But this is very behavioral trait typing, which is okay. But what Enneagram, or at least NLE, really does during the test that I go through is that it touches on your intention. So let's say I am a type 4. I have a type 4 personality profile. I wouldn't say I am, because I will be overly identifying myself. But over there, if I start to realize that I have an issue with authority and I start to get upset, this is because my true nature is to share my uniqueness with the world. And I really, really want to, spread the message across. And this is my contribution to the society. But what happens when someone tries to tell me I'm not unique? That is really hurting my ego in a sense, right? That's one part of the spiritual intelligence, which is a wide range. That is my current worldview. No right or wrong. I currently see myself being able to contribute to the society by being unique. But if they say that my idea is just a common idea, or that my idea don't make sense, it doesn't matter to the world and stuff, it does trigger me and it does violate my core values. But this is where I learn from an NLE perspective that I can expand it. I can use more resources around it. For instance, I can tap on my wing 5, right? To really figure out, go deeper into the research. What do these comments mean? Because a lot of times when I cannot connect the dots, it gets me frustrated. And when I try to connect the dots, it just means I am doing more research to find out where the connecting points are, so that I can connect them with a lot of sense, that I can also use the power of the type 5 energy to systemize, to replicate, for everyone to explore. So that really got me into my passion. Coaching is not about behavioral traits change. It's not about behavioral change. A lot of times, right, if you're lazy, just get up and exercise. If you want to keep fit, if you want to have longevity in your life, everyone knows that. But what is the percentage of people really doing that? And those percentage of people who are showing those behavioral traits, are they really doing it for their true intentions? Is it really for the intention of longevity? Is it really for the intention of having really prosperous life? So that's where I feel that my coaching experience should deepen there, where I really explore the intention of all my coachees, including myself. I would say it's really difficult to coach myself, because going through all these classes, all these courses, I still seek for help from the facilitators who are very experienced in coaching to give me further insights about where I'm going, how much awareness I have, right? The deeper awareness that I have, the more awareness that I have. Let's say the range is from 1 to 10, okay? I already have 7. It does not stop there. Maybe it gets more and more difficult to attain the 8, for example. It could be a 7.1, 7.2, 7.1. 1.2, 7.13, it could be it could be endless in terms of decimals, right? But the point is not so much to be very focused on the numbers. It's all relative truth, but it's to really attain that kind of refinement process that works for you. So I'm also figuring out a lot about what works for me, and it's been so effective. I'm really cutting down on what is unnecessary, what is really causing the pain, and what I can really do to make the pain a bit less but manageable, so that I can still grow in such a prosperous manner. Prosperous in the mind, in the heart. In material life, it's everything. To me, it's everything. how, like, it's something that one of the founders of Mind Transformation says, how you do anything is how you do everything. It's a difficult sentence for me all along, but I'm starting to live it. And I think there's a lot of difference. It's really the same as looking at a menu and you know exactly, like, these are the world-class chefs who prepare it. These are the world-class ingredients who came about into this preparation. The process is Michelin star, maybe 3 or whatever it is. If you don't taste it, you don't experience the power or the quality of it, no matter how much knowledge you have gathered to this point. If you don't taste it, if you don't experience it yourself, you will never get it. I faced that so many times. So it was so interesting, really, really interesting, because we were being seated in this map. It was a very huge piece of canvas of the Enneagram in a circle, type 1 to 9. And then we were all asked to sit in our own places. And then we could hear it from the horse's mouth about breathing techniques, about breathing personalities that breathe in that manner. And it's so strange. It's really a lot more comforting to know that people of your certain core types are roughly doing the same things. Of course, it's a general thing, you know, because besides the core type, there are actually resources that I can gather. Because the aim entirely is to have all 9 types. But there are resources that I can gather as I have already built my neural pathways. In essence, it's just the core type, the habitual side of me ever since I was born till now, which is over 30 years, right? Where they are pretty much a habit, okay? But actually they're neural pathways. So in essence, like, we were able to sense and experience the entire 9 types of kind of their way of living. First, the breathing, right? For myself, as holding an energy of type 4 as a core, the breathing is unrhythmic. Then, for instance, like type 1, you know, they are breathing up here at this part. And for type 9s, they have shallow breathe-ins and long breathe-outs. You know, it's all according to their types. There are so many things, so many good things about it. And then in the NLE profiling, they show you a top 3 core types, because they, you know, it helps me to understand which are the resources that I've been using very a lot, right? So I have a wing 5, very obvious. I used to have a wing 3 at least 5 years ago, where I was really focused on trying to achieve whatever I want to show to the world. But now I have a lot more research-based evidence to show what I want to show the world. In essence lah. But I have a type 7 energy where I'm so excited to explore different ways of expression so that I can really get the message across to everyone, at least the ones that matter to me a lot, right? And because of the trust and the faith that I really put on myself firstly, and also of the way that, you know, there's really a lot of things in this world that I can rely on in faith. There's no way I can control who I'm gonna meet. That's one, right? And because of that, I really met amazing people. I may go into places where I thought that I really hated, I really don't like this part of the group. But when I go in there, there will be some gems available for me, which is so cool. And it's very, you know, this is a very retrospective way of speaking. Because at that very moment, I also felt that I shouldn't be here. I don't want to be here. And maybe I chose many times not to be there. Okay? But at the end of the day, when I'm asked to show up, when I'm asked to be present, when I'm asked to do a certain things, I will be able to see that actually everything has been done in a way for me to proceed with what I truly want to do. For example, now I talk about that whole map, right, of the 9 types. We were asked, what were we misunderstood about? So, every type somehow has a similar consensus of what they were misunderstood for. In essence, the type 2 energy, they are really trying to help, but they were misunderstood for being nosy, for example. And they actually appreciate being loved at the same time, being cared for at the same time, but they don't like to show it. They don't like to express it. So they were misunderstood, that they don't need that kind of care. So the next question is really, what would you like to be understood for? Right? So once we have shared with the world of 9 types that what normally we are misunderstood for, we want to share in a very open space, in a very nice environment, curated by these facilitators, that what is the message essentially from that base positive intention, the motivation. Then whatever behavioral traits is validated in that sense, is understood, is being accepted, is embraced. Let me give you an example. So for me, I've always been misunderstood as someone who cannot get my idea across. Sometimes it could even be like, it's not useful, it's not effective, you're not getting the point, you're being stupid, let's be super blunt. That's ridiculous, you don't even know what I'm talking about, are you even listening? That could be some of the, comments. And that's really painful for me because I feel that I have the big picture. I feel that there's so many things I can say. It's just that I don't have enough time to really expand on the idea, right? I could tell you the end idea, but if I don't have those connectors to get there, you might think I'm ridiculous. Because I'm not an Einstein who's able to make sure there's a formula so that it's replicable to everybody. Everybody's going to be really surprised that it's proven at any moment in time, that kind of thing. I just don't have that time yet. And I truly believe that Einstein is also facing that. When he hasn't proven a theory, he's also facing all this. When no one understands him, maybe some people even be suspicious of him, maybe even feel threatened and try to lock him up and stuff like that. Because during those times, it could very well happen, right? But for me, I think I face a lot of resistance, a lot of rejections. So I feel really misunderstood. Come on, I'm trying to give you a message that works for you. You told me this, I'm trying to give you the solution, and you tell me I don't make sense? But I see the whole thing. So what is the message that I was really trying to go across? And it was really personal. I mean, I shared it in the end. And I'm so glad that I got to witness everybody's responses and resonance to it. And after that, we got together. And I got to witness how vulnerability is a real strength. Where you see, because the type 4 energy, just to let you know, is a lot of like dark emotions, or being overly emotional, being overly sensitive, trying to be totally unique and don't want people to understand you but still want people to connect with you, that kind of thing. So with all these traits, right, I was really trying to make sense in figuring out how to balance the whole thing, in trying to share the message and at the same time overcome all these stereotypes. So what I really came up with is that we are truly doing so many unnecessary things. Truly a lot. It's very heartbreaking to see the people at the trains. When I'm taking the train, public transport, when all of us are focused on the phone, including me, by the way, because we are so far from our essence. So I make it a point in my social cause or at least in this life that I'm going through, that I will journey myself with others to realize all the unnecessary things that I've been doing, that anyone else has been doing, anyone who is open to join me, and reach a moment of very high peak of fear where you have absolutely nothing to do, which the world is already progressing towards. AI is taking over a lot of jobs. There's a lot of fear going on how AI is going to take over other people's jobs, even though there's a lot of logic around it to say that actually it's just an assistant to you. But basically it's very in line with my spiritual cause, or at least people development cause. There's a lot of unnecessary things that we're doing to ourselves. And if I can just move that away from me, and I reach that super high peak of fear where I have absolutely nothing to do, and I take that next step, and that's where everything that matters to me happens. That's where I want to be. And that's where my interest for others will be. And that's where I hope that people around me will get what I'm doing and find a way to help me in any way that they can, so that I can hope that they will feel the same, so that we can really thrive as a humanity. There's not much that we need to do here. We have overcomplicated like a million things. Even doing this video is part of overcomplication. But now that it has reached that step, it's the same as having to keep on walking to that moment where you realize that your true potential is just there. If I pull it linearly, I'm still doing things in an optimizing way. But the entire ideology about getting there is not linear. It's actually a full circle. So there is a chance that there are people who are already 10 upon 10 in their awareness, which they already finished the cycle, but they're living as a human being here, just totally enjoying their lives, which I have seen, in my loved ones. Totally good. That's so cool. Enjoy it, because you have written a story that way before you came to life. But there are people who are going through that circle, right, of life, to realize that there are really a lot of things that they could have just done from day one, instead of going through all the entire journey of things, which I am in, by the way, and also trying to finish this cycle with everybody. Just that the only difference is that I am inviting everybody to join me. So that's what has been happening to me all this while. And I'm so glad that I finally have a much clearer picture of all the experiences that I've been through, including NLE, cello, dance, all the conversations that I had with people. And you know who you are if you're listening to this. I really, really thank you so much for what has been happening to my life. And I hope that one day you'll be able to document it as well, because I'm really starting on a website. I want to make sure that all my stories are replicable, because I also love to systemize things, right? Drawing from the 5 energy and figure out what is the true blue system that could afford teamwork and at the same time self-discovery in their own curation. Nothing to do with a pathway, which is something that a lot of minds would love to have. Let's say they are really looking for a framework from me when it comes to coaching, which I can provide totally right now in terms of using an NLE profiling system, that these facilitators are so generous to share so much information with us to help us grow as coaches and many more. But at the same time, I'm able to, help people to be creative in their own essence, because basically what is their main goal? Is that I really enjoy so much love for myself that building that talent is all we need, so that at the end of the day, as a collective consciousness, we are really progressing as humanity. And what's the aim of progressing as a humanity? We don't know, but it's in our nature. Do bumblebees really figure out why they have to make honey? Why they are serving queen bee? Do they really do that? They just do, right? They're just being. I think that's where we are trying to be. I don't know. I don't have the answers to everything. But right now, what really drives me is to get me there, and hopefully someone will be able to climb the mountain for me. Just one last thing. As I was being asked about the metaphor that I have in my life goals, in my life purpose, where I am right now and stuff, for the last 30 years, I've always used the mountain as my metaphor, because to me, it signifies reliability, stability, the fact that you could really depend on the mountain, right? Just like me. And I realized after the revolution that I go through in this last few years, and it's been since, I don't know, 5 years or at least 4 years, and I still use the mountain as a metaphor. But right now, the way the mountain is for me is that I can go into the mountain. I can explore what the mountain has to offer. I'm not even concerned about reaching the top. It's not even about being, the mountain is definitely reliable. It's not going to shift unless, I don't know, there's a meteor struck from outside. But it's in a way so unmoving, but at the same time super adventurous. And I can invite as many people as I want to get on, and they can be at their own pace because everybody sets on their own path. And if we meet halfway, we cross each other's path, we can exchange ideas on how to do better, on how to get to the top, or even just experience some of the parts of the mountain that has magnificent experience, for example, and just go with it. That's what life is. Yeah? So I thank you very much for listening. And it's been such an honor. Now I finally know why I keep doing these stories, and why I keep meeting the people that I meet. Choke on my own saliva. But I'm wishing all of us the best, that we'll keep in contact, that we'll be so excited about life that we are able to move forward as one people. So, I catch you back next time. I'm signing off now, so take care and I'll see you soon, okay? Oh, I'm going to Germany for a trip, so I think that will be also very inspirational for me. So take care of yourself while I'm gone. Take care. Bye bye.